From the foreign scene, criticism mounts from Texas residents over police delayed response to tackle killer gunman. Good evening and thanks for joining us on the news tonight. Oluwatoyin Omodera is my name. Children across the country today commemorated their day with calls for improved welfare and protection of their basic rights. The theme for this year's celebration is strengthening supporting systems for the protection of the Nigerian child, a wake-up call. The day celebrates children while raising awareness on issues that affect them. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has assured Nigerian kids of his administration's zeal to tirelessly work for a bright future for them. In his goodwill message to celebrate the 2022 Children's Day, he said government will ensure that every child has access to education. The president said he recognized the place of education in the development of every country, pledging his commitment to drastic, significant reduction in the number of out-of-school children. He noted that while education of the Nigerian child would remain on the front burner for the current administration, other issues like healthcare, protection from armed drugs, cultism, child trafficking and abuse, as well as domestic violence were equally receiving needed attention from government. Buhari acknowledged that the Nigerian child deserves the best and a safe country where he or she could grow, make friends, interact and travel freely, in addition to emerging as a successful leader in different fields of endeavor. In the same vein, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and a leading PDP presidential aspirant has called on the federal government to renew its focus on education and to secure classrooms. Alhaji Abubakar gave the advice in a statement to commemorate this year's Children's Day. He said special attention must be given to children for their safety. Alhaji Abubakar explained that equipping our children with a solid education is the best way to enable them achieve their dreams and surmount whatever challenges. Also, Ondo State Governor Oluwatimi Akeredolu has congratulated children in the state on the occasion of the 2022 Children's Day celebration. Governor Akeredolu described children as precious blessings and heritage of God which must be nurtured to greatness. The governor, in his Children's Day message, said his administration will continue to prioritize the well-being and secure a better future for children in the state. The governor said his administration will continue to wage war against perpetrators of violence against children, affirming that their security is paramount. Akeredolu rejoiced with the children and urged them to watch the friends they associate with, noting that negative peer groups will only end up in spoiling good habits. Ondo State children have joined their counterparts across Nigeria to mark this year's Children's Day. Various groups engage children in different activities to prepare the kids for the future. Omoriola Ungbeji, who visited some sports in Akure, the Ondo State capital, now reports.
The theme for this year's Children's Day is strengthening supporting systems for the protection of the Nigerian child, a wake-up call. Going by the ugly situation, strengthening a better tomorrow of Nigerian children, one would assume there should be no need to plan for the future. However, some children evolved with the enthusiasm that come what may, the future is bright.
When there is life, there is hope. So, there's future for us. If Jesus tarries, we see our future. God will help me because they said God loves little children and God answers the prayer of little children. I know God will help me.
The future will be brighter because what they taught us today, we will go and practice it in the future and we know it will be useful for us in the future.
This year's event is coming at a crucial time when children need all the help they can get. It is for this reason an advocate of the 21st century children engaged youngsters in a national contest, Paint Your Future, to wake the consciousness of the children to their future ambition.
It goes beyond saying that my child wants to be a doctor. It can be something also. It can also be something in addition to being a doctor and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to make parents see the light of youth and also make the children see their skill and their capacity, what they can do.
To the children, they are fulfilled, doing what they love to do best, even though their future goals differ.
I'm very, very happy today because today is Student Day and I'm like to draw and to painting.
It was also an avenue to educate the children on what the future holds for them.
So most definitely, today being Children's Day, we're only telling them to project into the future. Painting has a way of bringing what you paint into life. So when you paint the future, you can draw it into today. So when you paint optimism, you're bringing it into today.
While some children visit different centers for entertainment, some were also engaged at worship centers to pray, sing, and also learn some skills.
Bible says children are the heritage of the Lord, and fruit of the womb is the reward. Since they are God's heritage, that which the Lord has proposed for them, they will surely fulfill. They should be hopeful.
Meanwhile, the federal government, in its message for this year's Children's Day, has pledged commitment to make education of the Nigerian child on the front burner besides other pressing issues. Omoriola Hungbeji, Osrc News.
And still on the Children's Day celebration, as Nigeria recognizes another Children's Day, the need to accord the welfare of the less privileged a topmost priority has engaged the attention of stakeholders. At a special Children's Day celebration organized, held at the Dorian Home for Charity and Social Development, Alade Idori, speakers emphasized that the society owes a sacred duty to make the downtrodden comfortable. At the Dorian Home for Charity and Social Development, Alade Idori, Ondo State, Joy Pius reports that the event, which brought together school children from various schools, had as its theme unites to reverse the effect of COVID-19 pandemic on children. We'll bring you the report in the course of the bulletin. The Catholic Diocese of Ondo has announced activities lined up for this year's World Communications Day. According to a statement by the Catholic Diocese of Ondo, the event, which is the 56th of its kind, will begin on Sunday, 26th May, with the Holy Mass at the Sacred Earth at Cathedral, Akure, by 10 a.m. Thereafter, there will be a reception and lecture on the theme at the Cathedral Hall within the church premises. The statement urged the media and communications professionals in the state to attend the event. The theme for this year's World Communications Day is Listening with the Ear of the Earth. Let's go on a break now. When we come back, we'll serve you more stories on the news. Please stay with us.
That was simple now. Call 109 now. Or just dial star 109 hash. Or you can just text your NIN to 109. What of people like us will not get NIN at all? What can any grow one and register? That's free.
Abego, how Mr. Fete can get 20,000 naira?
Whether you be old or new Glow customer, collect your whoop now when we say in the hot. Bonus free. No, I don't receive my own bonus. No, thank you. Up to 20,000. Bonus free.
You're welcome back. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook, OSRC TV Ondo, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel, OSRC TV Ondo. Now to the rest of the bulletin. Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu has reassured people of Ondo State of their safety after suspected kidnappers attacked construction workers in Owo, killing 2 people. The attack, which took place on Wednesday, claimed the lives of a military officer, a driver, and the kidnapping of one of the expatriates working on the 4.7-kilometer Ifesomi Mobile Ikare Akoko Junction Dualization Road project. Resources Richard Elesomi reports that the governor, during a visit to the scene of the incident, described the attack as shocking and unfortunate.
Tragedy struck in on Tuesday when suspected kidnappers attacked this construction site, killing 2 people and abducting one of the expatriates working on the 4.7-kilometer Ifesomi Mobile Ikare Akoko Junction Dualization project. Governor Oluwaroti Akeredolu, accompanied by Special Advisor on Security Adetunji Adeleye, Commissioner of Police, and the Director, Department of State Services, visited the scene of the incident. The incident happened here, and the blood stains of the dead still on the ground. After killing the soldier and the driver here, the kidnappers were said to have fled to this bush with the expatriates, and no communication established yet. The governor also led the team to sympathize with the expatriates whose colleagues were victims, expressing shock that the incident could happen despite efforts by security agencies to secure the state. Akeredolu, who commiserated with family of the dead, also assured them that their colleague will be rescued and government will step up their security henceforth.
One is surprised that some criminals can infiltrate the working vicinity and carry out this dastardly act. I mean, if unfortunately we've lost a military personnel, we've lost a driver, the expatriates that have been kidnapped, we are yet to hear from them. So one is worried, and that's why I had to come visit the scene, visit where the roads they took away, and visit the camp where the expatriates operate from. So I just had to visit them there and at least reassure them that they rightly observed that they have been here for over 4 years. They have worked for over 4 years and nothing has ever happened. So this is just an incident that one do not pray for, but it has happened. I want to reassure them, reassure all of them that look, this is a safe city. It's just that we have incidents like this that just occur. Freak, we call it freak incidents. It just happen like that. I hope they will go back to work, and what we can assure them is that we're going to try to reinforce their security.
The governor's special advisor on security and Amotekun Commander Adeleye gave assurance that those responsible for the Incidents Act will be apprehended.
Well, we have put a lot of apparatus in place to build up their security, as Mr. Governor has said. We take security of lives and property very, very serious in Ondo State, and we will not compromise it. Yes, it will happen once in a while like that, but we want to reassure the good people of Ondo State that it's just one of those things that could happen, but it won't happen again. And we are surely going to get to the root of this.
Adeleye urged residents always provide useful information to security agencies to better protect the state. Richard Lesoni, Osrc News.
This month, environmental sanitation will hold in Ondo State tomorrow. A statement by the General Manager, Ondo State Waste Management Authority, Mrs. Ayo Adeyemo, said the exercise will hold between 7 and 10 in the morning. The statement said there will be no movement restriction during the exercise. Mrs. Adeyemo urged residents to use the period to clean their surroundings. The House of Representatives primary election of the All Progressives Congress, APC, has been held across the country. In Ondo State, the conduct of the election was peaceful. In Ikare, Akoko, where the member representing Akoko North, East, and Northwest Federal Constituency, Bumi Tunji Ojo, won a return ticket against his opponent, Mr. Bongbo Sikiro, with 115 votes to 0. Also in Owo Osrc Federal Constituency, the incumbent Timei Adelegbe beat his rival Abiola Oshodi with 101 votes to 11. In the meantime, the primary election of the All Progressives Congress in Akure South North Federal Constituency today ended inconclusive. 3 aspirants, Mayor Lawson Alade, Demi Adeshida, and Oluwafemi Fadairo, contested the elections. Osrc's Juliet Bona reports that a mild drama ensued just before the conclusion of the elections, which led to gunshots, leaving people, including journalists, scampering for safety. Meanwhile, the Akure South North Federal Constituency elections started peacefully with accreditation of delegates under the supervision of INEC and security agents. 3 contestants, including the incumbent Mayor Lawson Alade, Demi Adeshida, and Oluwafemi Fadairo, are vying for the ticket of the party. Voting started in earnest after late arrival of electoral materials, resulting into a disagreement between one of the aspirants and the electoral officers. Sorting and counting commenced under the supervision of the chairman electoral committee, Daramola Akola. As aspirant journalists waited for the result of the election with several intervals of argument. Suddenly, the peaceful environment turned rowdy as everyone in the hall scampered for safety. Journalists were shielded by men of the police force as sporadic shooting engulfed the environment. No result was thereafter announced. We'll bring you the details of that report in our subsequent bulletins. The All Progressives Congress primary election has been held in Ondo East and West Federal Constituency. 3 aspirants vowed for the House of Representatives seat in the Federal Constituency, including a serving lawmaker, Mr. Abiola Makinde, Olumbe Akinkugbe, and Akinwole Babajide Thomas. Osrc's Zaid Aribisala reports that 105 delegates were accredited out of 110 from the 22 wards in Ondo East and West Federal Constituency. After voting, the electoral officer Idowu Otetubi, alongside the aspirants, agents sorted and counted the ballot papers. Mr. Abiola Bakinde, having scored the highest number of votes, was declared winner of the primary election. Abiola Makinde won the primary election with 94 votes, while his rivals Olumbe Akinkugbe polled 9 votes and Akinwole Thomas had no votes.
Abiola Makinde has been winner of this contest and will therefore fly the flag of our party, the APC, in the 2023 general elections to represent Ondo West and East Federal Constituency.
Speaking after his victory, Abiola Makinde thanked all party members for their support, assuring of more dividends of democracy if given another chance to represent his people.
I'm happy that the people have responded, and to God be the glory. It's a resounding victory. Of course, I give glory to God Almighty for making it possible that I could win an election. I'm alive and well, and I want to thank all the delegates, thank all those who have supported me day in, day out, my followers, and I thank the Ondo Kingdom indigenous as a whole for their efforts, their love, and their support to move me to the next level. But in particular, I would like to appreciate my co-contestants, my aspirants, those who contested with me.
Men of the Nigerian Police Force and NSCDC were on ground to ensure orderliness and monitor proceedings. President Muhammadu Buhari's reluctance to sign the 2022 Electoral Act Amendment Bill is generating ripples in some quarters vis-a-vis its implication on the ongoing political party primaries ahead of the 2023 general election. The National Assembly recently passed the bill, which tinkered with Section 84, subsection 8, to allow previously barred statutory delegates vote in political party primaries, conventions, and congresses. In this report, Osrc's Richard Elesomi takes a look at the impact of the hanging presidential ascent on party primaries that has already produced flag bearers in recent days.
When the National Assembly passed the 2022 Electoral Law Amendment Bill in the first quarter of this year, President Muhammadu Buhari was under lots of pressure to assent to the document, which many believe was necessary for the country's electoral system. One of the major dust-generating changes in the amended document is Section 84, which banned political appointees and statutory delegates from voting in party conventions, primaries, and congresses. Statutory delegates are president, vice president, governors and their deputies, members of state and national assemblies, local government chairmen and councillors who are automatic delegates of every political parties. Subsection 8 of the provision was recently amended by both houses of the National Assembly to include previously excluded statutory delegates, but the document is yet to be assented to days after it was transmitted to the president. Notwithstanding the presidential assent, most political parties have started their primaries using elected delegates as prescribed by the old electoral law, but with controversy over the implications of the president's hesitation to sign the new amendment bill.
If Mr. President go ahead and sign it that time that they brought that amendment to him, it will cause a lot of issues, because now it will affect the previous act being signed 25th of February. Again, the INEC will still go back and re-strategize and restructure their times and everything again. It will also be getting delayed.
Under the existing electoral law, which excludes statutory delegates, the All Progressives Congress will hold its Congress with a reduced number of delegates from 7,000 to 2,340, while 811 are expected to choose the presidential flag bearer of the People's Democratic Party.
The number of people that law excluded in this primary has grave consequence, grave implication and consequence, and which portend danger for our democracy. I think you can see, what has been the outcome, in some of the primaries that has taken place. How delegates, because they are few in number, are being bought openly with millions of naira.
Some say the refusal served to place control of political parties in the hands of the president at the national level and governors at the state level, a situation where their wishes will covertly translate to party supremacy. With the speedy passage of the amending bill at the National Assembly, it won't be out of place to note whether the initial law was thoroughly debated on the floors of both chambers before important provisions that should have been included were ruled out. Or is it an attempt to blackmail the president?
The question I've always been asking is that were they sleeping when they enacted that law? Now they woke up from their slumber after the president has signed the bill into law. They now found out that they themselves have been shut out. Even if they want to recontest now, they cannot even vote for themselves in their primary. And they are now saying, let us bring back the issue of statutory delegates. And they have done that. The president has refused to sign. I support the president. Let him leave it like that. Let everybody go to the field. That if you want to contest, those who will vote for you, they are elected. Let them be elected for that purpose.
Political interest has been a factor in the editing of that act, and that's where that has brought us here. In trying to solve one problem, we might have created another problem.
Political parties will complete their primary elections this month to beat the deadline set by the existing amended electoral law. But what then happens if President Buhari finally signs the amendment bill? This is a scenario the coming days hold for Nigerians to see. Richard Elesomi, Osrc News.
The Federal High Court sitting in Yenagoa has ruled that former President Goodluck Jonathan is eligible to contest the 2023 presidential election. The presiding judge, Justice Asa Ahmad-Shane, held that Jonathan's right to vie for the office of president again cannot be stopped by any retroactive law. A coalition of northern groups had bought the All Progressives Congress APC presidential nomination and expression of interest forms for the former Bayelsa State governor, months after speculations emerged that he would join the ruling party. Jonathan served as vice president between 2007 and 2010, but became president in May 2010 following the death of President Musa Yar'Adua. He thereafter contested for the presidential seat in 2011 and won. And back to the Dorian Home Children's Day celebration. As Nigeria recognizes another Children's Day, the need to accord the welfare of the less privileged the topmost priority has engaged the attention of stakeholders. At the special Children's Day celebration organized and held at the Dorian Home for Charity and Social Development, Alade Dori, speakers emphasized that the society owes a sacred duty to make the downtrodden comfortable. Joy Pius reports that the event, which brought together school children from various schools, had as a theme, unite to revert the effects of COVID-19 pandemic on children.
Joining in this year's Children's Day celebration, Dorian Home for Charity and Social Development, a home established to cater for the needs of less privileged children in society, situated at Alade Idonri, Ondo State, organized a special event in commemoration of the day and was attended by children from various schools. The general manager, Dorian Home, Mr. Oluwaniyi Ogunleye, emphasized the importance of the day, saying it's meant to promote the welfare of children irrespective of their status.
We are encouraging our people to please be passionate about our orphans and those children. They are human beings with feelings in their flesh.
The Chief Executive Officer, Dorian Home for Charity and Social Development, Dr. Tolulola Bayode, expressed fulfillment in putting smiles on the faces of less privileged members of the society.
It is my passion to give to the less privileged and to the vulnerable. And I'm so happy that I actually achieved my dream. I'm happy and I'm fulfilled. I want to engrave my name in the hearts of the children. So doing this will outlive me, and that's what I want to, to also tell people to do.
Wash your hands. Use of nose mask.
Delivering a lecture on observing COVID-19 protocols to revert the effects of the pandemic on children, a medical expert in the Ondo State Public Health Laboratory, Olaide Oyelaja, took the school children on personal hygiene protocol in line with COVID-19 preventive measures. Zonal Coordinator, National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, FA Ekrika, said the agency will partner with Dorian Home to achieve the aim of its establishment.
What I've found in Dorian Home, she has all the capacities and the equipment. I've gone around to check, and the rest of it, they're very fantastic.
I'm very inspired. It's an honor, it's a privilege just to be able to tour their facility, to take a look at the phenomenal building.
She's a woman of virtues. She's a great woman, a woman that has passion for kids.
It takes somebody that has the heart of gold to do this, to bring this together, even to celebrate the children.
Some children are bound to be wasted, but as far as Dorian is concerned, it doesn't let them waste.
The children appreciated the management for always rendering support to them.
God will provide for her.
You help us to pay our school fees. God will bless you. You will not die young.
Highlights of the event included cultural dance, march pasts, games, as well as choreography. Joy Pius, OSRC News.
And to the foreign scene, police in Texas, United States are facing criticism after it emerged that it took up to an hour for them to tackle a gunman who entered an elementary school and shot dead 19 children and 2 teachers. Witnesses said police gathered outside Robb Elementary School in Ovard when the shooting began but delayed entering the building. The gunman, who has been named as 18-year-old Salvador Ramos, was eventually shot dead by police officers inside a classroom. Before we go on the news tonight, a quick look at some of the highlights of the bulletin. Ondo State children have joined their counterparts across Nigeria to mark 2022 Children's Day with renewed vigor and hope. Abiola Makinde has emerged the All Progressives Congress candidate at the party primary in Ondo Federal Constituency. A federal high court in Yenagoa has cleared former President Goodluck Jonathan to contest the 2023 presidency. And from the foreign scene, criticisms have mounted from parents and residents of Texas over a police delayed response to tackle gunman that killed 19 students and 2 teachers. And that's it on the news tonight. Thanks for watching. Good evening.